Do you think the American dream still exists today, 14 years later?
Is the American dream still alive, or is it just an elaborate scam designed to keep us productive? Today, I'm asking 4 multi-millionaires who started from rock bottom if they think they could do it again and what playbook they would follow.
So I'm Manny. I made my money in real estate, primarily commercial real estate.
How many places have you bought, and I think and how much have you spent in real estate over the years?
Oh, over $1 billion.
When I sold Patron about 5 years ago, we were approaching 4 million cases a year. And obviously, as you probably know, it's public record, it went for the largest amount ever with any spirits company.
Built a soap opera blog and sold that for close to $9 million. And then started a dog ramp business.
And how much money is that making a year?
Around 15 million.
I'm Rafael Martinez. I trade natural gas for a living. That's primarily what I do. I was born in El Salvador, been in the States, in Houston specifically for 26 years.
When you came to America not speaking English, do you remember what your first week was like? Because I can't imagine what that experience is like for someone so young.
Yeah, well, you're just like on a different planet. You know, I don't know my way around. I don't have any friends. I don't speak, and I don't have any money. I had a pretty roughest start, if you want to call it. But yeah, as a matter of fact, when we first moved here, we went to a Motel 6 in Costa Mesa, and then after a few nights, my dad figured out we're gonna run out of money, so we moved into a car. But I was at the pool, I remember, and there was this young kid. He was giving me the bird, and I thought he's saying hi, so I was like patting him on the back, and then the other guy was saying, somebody was sitting at the pool. He goes, no, that's not good, not good. I didn't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah. What's it like to sleep in a car with 6 people? And like, you guys had a station wagon?
It's not good. Yeah, it was a 1972 Datsun, a station wagon, a lot of cold nights. But I think it was so much suffering and mentally pressure on my mom, especially, that sometimes you're subconsciously, you block it. You don't think about it. I look at the good times now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy.
What was it like growing up in the U.S. as an immigrant?
Like, we never had gifts. Like, for Christmas, I don't remember parents ever being able to wrap a gift. It was always like, go buy your new, sorry, it happens every time. Go buy like your new outfit for the year. And so we would get a new shirt, pair of pants, and shoes. And like, that was our Christmas present. As a kid, didn't really appreciate what my parents in their early 20s, were going through, which I look back and it's like, when all this thing was happening, my mom was like 22, 23, which is, it's pretty insane that, that they were going through at such a young age.
You were actually homeless during this time, and you did it twice. So what happened? How did you get homeless?
I needed $500,000 to start a hair care company. So my partner and I made a deal. You take 30%, I'll take 30%. We have control. That's 60% of the company. And we'll give the 40% to anyone that'll give us $500,000. And we had somebody set up, a fellow named Dick Holthouse. He had an investor out of the island of Jersey. So he got to invest the money. Pick up the phone, call and collect. And I did. And he said, worse news, the guy changed his mind. So we had zero. Then I learned how to live off of $2.50 a day. 99 cents went to the Freeway Cafe for what they call the trucker special. And then I found a way to be able to eat off of a dinner for like $1 and a quarter.
What was the lowest moment in this first year or so?
For the first 5-6 years was very tough. Paycheck to paycheck, even less than paycheck to paycheck.
What does it mean to live less than paycheck to paycheck?
You have more bills than your income, so you have to juggle, credit cards, go on Craigslist and look for, odd jobs of people who are looking for help with moving, and they pay a couple $100, and you do that in the weekend. And then you bring your son with you, and also trying to build a business at night. And that was very stressful.
How do you think being an immigrant impacts your success, especially early on?
More than anything, I think just the hunger in me, because I was rock bottom. I didn't have any place to go but up. And a lot of people take that freedom, resources, friends, being able to speak English, all that for granted because they're here. Right? But if you take all that away from you, you get really desperate.
How do you think being an immigrant helped you?
I think a lot of people grow up here in a suburb and they have no idea what kids their age are suffering or going through in a country like El Salvador. And so I think that value that I learned as a kid and experiencing those things, is one of the things that still drives me today is, I just know the value of the opportunity.
how do I get this immigrant mentality?
I had to work for everything basically. So I was happy the first time I got a bank account. I was happy when I got my first credit card, a Discovery credit card. I was like jumping for joy. In some ways, it was easier to build my first successful business than now, because now I have all these other like resources that I didn't have back then. So there was no plan B. I had to just make it work. And if you have to work for things, you typically become more creative.
Do you think the American dream still exists today, 14 years later?
If you're enjoying all the lessons from these self-made millionaires, you are going to love the newsletter I send out every week where I share 3 golden nuggets that will add value to your entrepreneurial journey. It might be a business book that shaped my thinking, a productivity app that I'm taking, or a YouTube video that impacted me. You can sign up with the link below or by going to okdork.com/nuggets. And make sure to let me know what you think by replying to the email. I check every single one of them. That's okdork.com/nuggets.
Do you think the American dream still exists today, 14 years later?
Yeah, 100%.
What gives you that impression, or what makes you think that?
Because my story is just one of millions. I think America is one of the few countries where an immigrant can just come here, open a bank account, open a business, an LLC, and start making money. You cannot do that in Europe.
Do you think this still exists?
Of course. I mean, if you really want it bad enough and you're patient, anyone can do it. I believe that. But you gotta have the drive, you gotta have the hunger, and surely you're gonna get to a point you're gonna have a dead end and you're gonna have to make a U-turn and find a different route.
People are thinking things are very difficult today compared to many, many years back. Not true. People have to know also that the American dream is very, very alive. Today, there's more of an opportunity. For example, for me to get stationery, I would go to a print shop where they would type set for $3.50. Name our P.O. box that cost me $16 at Universal City, right? So we'd have that typeset for us. And $3.50, and then they'd make a copy. And then for other copies for stationery, it was 4 cents a copy in those days off a Xerox machine. Today you have computers. There we had nothing. We didn't have cell phones in those days. They were just being invented and they were gigantic things. So what do we have? An answering machine. So I had like a regular answering machine I bought and used a friend's phone, and that was her office, and brought this English lady who was a dear friend of mine, beautiful lady Caroline, and she was so kind and wonderful. She put her voice on our machine so we looked bigger. It wasn't just a hairdresser living in Hawaii and his girlfriend in JP in LA, you know. We had an actual met with an English accent where she would go, "Hello, John Paul Mitchell Systems. Oh, thank you for calling. We're all out now. Things are so busy, but I'll try and see if I can JP to call you back later, you know. Goodbye, thank you so much." Well, of course I'm gonna call back later. There was nobody to call but me.
Sometimes we forget here, and including myself, how good we have it here. And doesn't mean it's perfect, doesn't mean we have a lot to fix, but I think it's a bad country.
What's it like to drive around in a Rolls Royce? Like, you know, as an immigrant, you come here, didn't speak English, didn't have money, you lived in a Datsun, and now you're driving like this hundreds of thousands of dollar car.
Yeah, well, I have 4 Rolls Royces. When Phantom came out, I bought a brand new Phantom. Back then, the lease payment on that car was more than my mortgage payment.
How much would you value your car collection right now?
Actually, I just took delivery of it's a Hennessy Venom F5. That's probably like a $2.7 million car. My car collection is probably 18 million, probably, maybe more.
If someone here wanted to make $1 million, that was their dream in life, what would you recommend to them?
What most people fail to do in life is find what they're good at. Some people are terrible at math. They insist to try to pursue like some form of math career or something with numbers. Like, well, if you're a creative, go find what in that creative world you're good at. Are you good at music? Are you good at writing? If you can learn the business side of your profession, anyone has the opportunity to start their own business. The hardest part is figuring out what is it that you have about you, your personality, your skill set, that can actually get you there, because you can waste your time in a lot of ways that, you know, that don't get you anywhere.
If someone is just starting out and they want to make $1 million, they don't have much money though. Like, what would be the steps they'd follow?
I would say, you know, take a sales position in anything, because when you do sales, you're interacting with people, you learn a lot. You know, everything almost in life is sales.
If someone today was interested in making $1 million and they're just getting started on their business journey, what advice do you have for them?
Well, subscribe to Noah's channel. If you're knowledgeable about a specific thing, like if it's running paid ads, Facebook, or SEO, starting an agency is, I think, probably the easiest way to get to $1 million. Or in my case, I would do content.
If someone's looking to aspire to make million, even just like their first million, so that they can do stuff like this and live their own dream lives, like what advice do you have for someone who's just getting started in their
Well, realize number one that What does rich mean? My son came home one day from Trinity, the local school he went to here. He said, the kids in school said, Dad, that we're rich. Are we rich? What does that mean, Dad? Some people think rich means you have lots of money, okay? But you can have lots of money, but be of poor health and not happy. And that's not rich. Rich is, are we happy as a family? Oh yeah, Dad, we are. Are we healthy? Yep, we're healthy, Dad. We're rich. You go back and tell the kids that, yeah, we made it, American dream happened for us, but rich is really, are you happy and healthy? And if you and your family are happy and healthy, you're just as rich as we are.
Let me know in the comments if you want me to release the full interview with any of the self-made entrepreneurs in this video. We already released the interview with Rafa, which you can check out right up here. And make sure to subscribe to the channel with the bell turned on so you get notified when we release those full interviews. Uncle Noah loves you, and I'll see you out there.